Hi, I'm Alan Tetreault with Global Sugar Art, and today I'd like to show you some different uses of patchwork cutters. Patchwork cutters were developed by Marion Frost from England. She's a good friend of mine, and she produces some beautiful, beautiful cutters, and most of them are in sets. So when you purchase a set, for instance this magnolia and rose, you get several different blossom cutters as well as the leaves that go with it, and there's always accent pieces that she adds to it. Here's a wild rose set. It has leaves, it has little buds, it has several different flowers in it. Here's a Halloween set that she has. It has pumpkins, it has ghosts, it has cauldrons. It has many, many different items in it that you could use on a cake. Now, you can use her cutters in many different ways. Today I'd like to show you how to use them for embossing. Here's just a couple ideas that I've given, that I've done for you. This is one from her cupcake set that she recently released. And I just took the smiley face and embossed it in and then just painted it over with a little bit of yellow luster dust. Here's an idea for the side of a cake. This is also from the cupcake set, and these are just little baby feet. And I painted some in and I just left some plain without doing anything to them so you can see the difference. But these are ideas that you could use on the top or on the side of a cake. Here's a cake that I've done using the rose motif on top, and in a future tutorial I'll show you how to do embossing with patchwork cutters and paint them in. This one today is just showing you how the embossing effect works on the top and the sides of the cake. So this was the rose cutter from the Magnolia Rose set, and I did the same thing on the side of the cake, but on the side I pearlized it to give a little glimmer to the cake and add a little detail to the embossing that I did. So let's get started. You're going to want to start with a freshly covered cake that's covered with fondant, and you're going to want to do this while the fondant is soft. Anytime you do any embossing, do it while the fondant is very fresh. Once that fondant develops a little bit of a skin and starts drying out, when you push the cutter or the impression mat into it, it's going to crack and it just doesn't look very good. So always do it when it's fresh. This is the rose cutter from the Magnolia Rose set. And I'm going to take a little bit of shortening and I'm just going to brush that across the top. And then start anywhere you want on the cake and just push it in, pop it out, and then just turn it around. And that's all I'm going to do, is I'm just going to keep pushing it in the cake. You don't have to put shortening on it after every embossing. You'll sort of feel when it starts sticking again, and you can just add a little bit more. I'm just putting a very, very light coating. And I'm just going to go all around the cake. Try to keep the pattern as close as you can so that it looks like a quilted effect when it's done. I like doing this with seasonal things. You can take the Halloween one and put pumpkins all over an orange cake. And then just add a simple decoration on the top, and you have a very easy cake that's ready to go and has taken very little time. And it really does have a very nice dramatic effect on the cake. So I'm going to do the whole top of this cake. You can see how quickly this goes. And if you got a little space, just do part of the cutter. Now, you can continue this down the side if you'd like. And you can also go right down to the board. If you've covered your board in fondant, there's no reason why you can't do the board as well. So that gives you a quick idea of how you can do the embossing. Just do a couple more in here. Now you can leave it just as it is, or you can add a little bit of pearl dust to it. Get a brush. Marion Frost was my guest at the ICES convention this year in our booth, and rather than brushing it with pearl dust, she actually used the pearl spray that's made by different companies. And the reason I do this, I don't necessarily want to put pearl dust on everything, but for you to see the difference between adding the pearl dust and not adding the pearl dust. And you can see how it brings out the detail in the embossing that I've done. It really, really makes it pop. So let me just add a little bit down at the bottom here. Now, to finish a cake like this, you absolutely don't need anything, especially if you used a colored fondant and you want to emboss the whatever design you choose into it. You can leave it just as it is, and it's a very presentable and a beautiful cake. Or you can add a flower to it. This is a crystal poinsettia that I've made, and you can see the effect that a simple flower on a cake that's already embossed has. It takes very, very little. So that is Patchwork Cutters, embossing the sides and the top of a cake, finishing it with a pearl dust, or just leaving it as it is. It's a simple technique, but it really does have a very, very dramatic effect on a cake. Thank you for watching, and you can find all of Marion Frost Patchwork Cutters at globalsugarart.com.